Hi everyone, this is Sarah from MyoThrive. I'm going to go through a bit of a glute strengthen series today. So first of all, I want you to grab your foam roller. We're going to foam roll the quads, the hip flexors and the deep glute muscles to start with. So coming onto your side, with the bottom knee bent and the top leg in front, and rolling around until you find some tender points. At that tender point, you can just let it sink in and hold for 30 to 60 seconds, or you can roll over it in a circle-like fashion is better than going back and forth. And then come to the middle of the thigh and do the same thing. So find a tender point and either circle gently around, focusing on that most tender point, or just holding the spot is fine. And then lastly, up to the top area, still staying on the muscle. You don't want to come as high as the hip bone. So again, find that tender spot and focus on that for 30 to 60 seconds. Once you've done that, coming onto the foam roller on the hip, around where your underpants line would be, is the rough spot to look for those trigger points. So coming right down over the roller this time, top leg in the same position, bottom leg just rolling back and forth and up and down a bit until you find the spot. Once you find the spot, again, you can hold on to the spot, you can circle around on the spot, or for this one, it feels quite nice if you slide your leg back and forth. Again, about 30 to 60 seconds. To do the piriformis, or the deep glute muscles, you're going to sit on top of the foam roller, cross your ankle over to opposite knee, roll to that same side, and then again, looking for a tender point. From here, you can hold little circles, or you can move the knee, very small movement up and down. Have a little play around with those on both sides before you start the next part. The activation part is next. So pause here if you need to get all that foam rolling done. Okay, so now we're up to activation. So we're going to use the clam series to activate. So come onto your side. You can just be propped up on your elbow. If that's uncomfortable, you can come right down or use a pillow under your head. I'm going to stay up on my elbow. And then I want you to bend the knees, and your hand can go either on your hip or in front of you here. And all I want you to do is lift the knee up whilst keeping the hip stacked. So your hip will want to roll back with you as you open the leg. Your job is to really hold that nice and steady, which is why I like the hand on the hip idea, so that you can make sure that there's no movement happening through the hip. So I want you to do about 10 of these just to warm up, and you should feel it in, if you're wearing jeans, the back pocket of your jeans area. If you're not feeling it there, try sliding your knees back behind you a little bit more to focus in on that area. So about 10 of these, and then I want you to lift the knee and the foot, and then I want you to tap the foot down and raise it up. So lifting and lowering the foot now. About 10 of these. And then I want you to straighten the leg out, and I want the toes pointed up towards the roof. You're going to imagine a half moon circle underneath your foot. We're going to slide around the circle and tap to the front, then slide around the circle and tap to the back. So we're tapping back and forth. I'm going to do 10 of these. And then to finish off, toes flexed pointing back towards you this way. We're going to sweep the leg forward and back. So you should be starting to feel the glute muscles getting a little bit warm back here. If you're feeling it here, it's probably that your hips have rolled back, that you need to do a little bit more release with the spiky ball or foam roller in the hip flexors. or like I said, that you need to take your knees back behind you a little bit more, okay? So that's to activate the right part of the glutes that we want to start making more functional, to offload your lower back, your hips, your ankles and your knees. The stronger we get your glutes, the stable your base is going to be. So I'll let you now finish up those reps on that side and do the same on the other side. Feel free to pause or go back and replay some of those exercises if you need. Once you finish those, we're going on to 4-point kneeling. So this is where the balance aspect starts to come into it, and that's why we needed them activated. So on hands and knees, and to start with, you're going to lift the heel and just raise it up to the roof. Trying to keep your torso still and your knee, hip and ankle in an alignment like it's between two panes of glass, and you're trying to slide the leg between the panes of glass. Once you've done 10 of those, we're going to add the opposite arm in. So the arm and the leg will stretch out together and then return. About 10 of those as well. Then I want you to stretch that same leg back, and we're going to do some half moon circles again. So we're going to tap to one side, come up and over, tap to the outside. If you want to add that element of balance, you can outstretch the other arm. I'll give you a minute to do about 10 reps of each of those and even that up on the other side as well. Then that's balancing for getting your glutes starting to work in a balancing way, in a stabilizing way. We're going to take that a little bit further again now. So if you've got a band, tie it to the top of your door and make sure the door closes towards you so it doesn't accidentally open halfway through the session. And then holding onto the band, balance on your opposite leg and squat down. You're going to squat and hold. Make sure that your ankle is staying square. If it rolls in, just correct for that. And then you're just going to pull down on the band. So again, you'll do about 10 of those. And then to finish off, we're going to do some single leg squats. So you can use the band again for balance if you need. If you feel balanced enough without it, that's fine too. So one foot behind you, coming down into a single leg squat. And if you want to add the extra balance work, you can take that leg off the floor. Or like I said, you could take your leg off the floor combined with the band to help you further your balance progression there. So again, do about 10 each of those. And then we're going to stretch to finish off. So finish off your tippy bird and your squats and then come back. Okay, so stretches. I'm going to line your side. You're going to hold the ankle and then you're going to put your knee on top, your ankle, sorry, of the lower leg on top of your knee to pull that down a little bit. You should feel it through the quad and a little bit more directed down the outside of the leg there. If this is too difficult for you, just holding like that is fine. Okay, next up we've got a hip flexor stretch. For this one, you can grab your foam roller. And you're going to lie on your back. Roll the roller under your hips. You're going to hug one leg in towards your chest and the other one's going to go out long. You should feel a bit of a stretch coming in through here. Hold that for about 30 to 60 seconds each side. Then come up to standing. Cross one leg in front of the other and push the hip out to the side to feel a stretch through here. This arm can come up over the head if you want to increase the stretch to come up into the body a little bit as well. So again, do a 30 to 60 second stretch of that one on each side. And lastly, a pigeon stretch. So cross the leg in front of you and then sit down on top of it. You can stay upright. If you want to feel the stretch more, you can come down right on top of it. So pause here, finish off 30 to 60 second hold of all those stretches, and then come back to see what your weekly plan is going to look like for the next month in regards to your glute strengthening. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.